Good afternoon, peeps. Today is April 30th. Tomorrow will be May. I can't believe it. And I'm in Georgia. I know our state's been getting a lot of flack because we decided to open up early. But I'm still at home. Where I work at, they're wanting to look at numbers and make sure it's safe before they send us back. So I appreciate that. So I'm still quarantining. The rest of the state, you guys just pray for us. Because we don't, I know Governor Kemp's got a lot of slack, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think it's any of their intentions to put us at danger, or at least I don't think it's his. They're just it's just a lot of decisions that have to be made, and I wouldn't want to be in their position. So anyway, but today, doing another interview or conversation with one of my really, really good friends. We met and look what I found, Nikkoa. Her name is Nikkoa. Field subject to change really soon, but look what I found.
Wow.
I keep everything like I told you. So we went to High Point University, which is in North Carolina. Is High Point still considered to be the furniture capital of the world or not anymore?
No, I think it is. It slowed down a little bit with what happened with the recession in 2008, but they're starting to try to reopen it. They still have the furniture market twice a year. So it's still popping. It's just not as popular, I think.
Yeah.
When we went to school, but
So first of all, let me give you a title for this. So today we're gonna talk about going to college. Nikkoa reminds me of my brother Brandon. They have a lot of knowledge about like everything. So Nikkoa is an accountant, right? Or as a profession, that's what she went to school for. She's great at a lot of other stuff, but when it comes to like money and saving and debt cancellation, she's really knowledgeable. She's got a degree in it, and she's got other information that she's just learned from life experience. So we started out together, but then I left, but we both kind of went on our own separate journeys, but stayed in touch, of course. And today we're just going to go over life skill unfortunately, but it's just what it is. I was the first person in my immediate family to go away to college. I wasn't the first person to go to college because my sister and my dad had taken classes, but I was the first person in my family to actually go away and stay on campus at a dorm and get the full college experience, if that's what you want to call it. So Nikkoa and I met there, and I don't even know how we just started talking. I don't know if it's because we were one of the very few chocolate people on our floor that we just automatically connected. And if you're brown or if you're minority, you know what I'm talking about. But then we just stayed in touch. We really gelled. We had a good time together. And I'm just thankful, almost 20, is it 20 years yet? Almost 20, right? 2000
in the fall of 1997. Actually.
Yeah. So we're still friends, and I told her I was going through my photo albums, not related to this, but one of my other many side projects while I'm at home. And I just found so many pictures of us together, and I was just grateful that I still have quite a handful of people in my life that have been there for a very long time. So I consider that to be a blessing. And I'm going to share my screen. I wanted to show some pictures of us.
Oh, jeez.
And the sad thing about me is and this is just body image, and that could be a whole nother sermon or video, but I thought I was fat or bigger back then, and I was skinny. I was like, what the hell was wrong with me? I was actually a good size back then. I'm working my way back towards, I'm okay. I do want to continue to get smaller, but I thought I was big and I was actually very small. And it's just how society will have you think one thing and it's completely not true. I was like, Lord, I wish I was that size now. Okay, what am I doing? Sharing screen. Okay. Photos. And Nikkoa, you can let me know. You should be able to see them too.
Okay.
Can you
I'm
see
kind of
anything?
scared. I don't see it yet, but it said you started sharing, so I'm figure it'll pop up soon. Oh, look at me way in the background.
No, so actually I want to
My
start.
little head.
So I want to start with this one because this I'm trying to go in order. This one just popped up first. This is one of my favorite pictures of us. And there's a long story behind this, a funny story. Maybe we'll do it in another like crazy story video.
The
But
tales of our college experiences.
yeah, this was probably, was it cold? Was it in the winter?
It probably was in the winter or fall, maybe.
Yeah. So Nikkoa's roommate, we took a weekend trip to go home with her roommate, and we were going out to the club. And this is one of my favorite pictures of both of us. I thought we looked really cute. I always loved that outfit that I had on. And it was a very memorable night. That's what I'm going to say right now.
Gunshots and everything occurred.
Graveyard too, right? That was a graveyard one.
It was. Oh my God, that was crazy.
We just need to thank the Lord that we are still here today. That's all I got to say. Because, yeah, the crazy decisions that you make in college. Let's go to, this one is one I love of Nikkoa. I wrote on the back of the picture, and you had just gotten a new haircut. Can you see it?
I see the same photo that was just up.
Hold on. Let me go. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it only let me do one photo at a time. Hold on.
Sucks.
I mean, I still don't know what I'm doing. Can you see this? Or no, you can only, I might have to, I think I did it wrong. Hold on. Oh, it's paused.
Oh, how do you unpause it?
Can you see it now?
No, ma'am.
Stop. Let me stop. Okay, let me do this over again. I think because I didn't share my whole screen, I was just trying to do individuals.
Oh, I see.
And YouTube people who are experts, you know.
Oh my God, the haircuts.
Yeah, this was your new, you had just gotten, I put on the back of the photo, new haircut.
Hilarious. You know, I never really liked hair. Every time I grew it out, I just cut it right off.
I thought that was good. That's a good picture of you.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, this one, I think this is the one you had mentioned earlier. Is this the one you have?
Yeah, I have that same exact photo.
I don't know what I was doing.
Man, silly.
Felicia, I wonder where you are, Felicia. Have you watched my YouTube video? Hello.
Our lunch buddies.
Yeah, our lunch buddies. We both did the lunch buddy program. We were volunteering, and these were our two little boys. They're grown men now.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That was just a lunch buddy program through, was that through High Point, or was that just like Boys Girls Club, or?
I want to say Boys Girls Club.
Okay.
But I'm not 100%, I don't really remember. And then the last two are when we graduated, we of course we graduated different places, but we were still in each other's lives. So this is when Nikkoa graduated with her mommy.
Yep, I think I have.
One of the sweetest people you will ever meet.
Now that we're pulling out photos, I think I have a photo of all of us during that day. My dad was crazy, so he took like 9 million photos that day. I do. It's a little blurry, but I do have a photo of all of us, and I'm just going to hold it up. But do you remember?
Oh, yeah. Look at me. Wow.
Yep.
Mika.
Yes. My other soul sister.
Yes. She went to High Point with us as well. But this is the last picture that I have from the college days. And Nikkoa, I was living in South Carolina. I went to Clemson. I finished at Clemson, and she came down for my graduation. So we have been in each other's lives a long time, which is a good thing. A lot of people can't say that. So
Yeah.
Especially, you know, when you grow up military too, that's harder to say. But I'm thankful that I can say that for a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to talk about college. Nikkoa has some great tips on how to maneuver around the college. I hate to say this, but it's like everything in life is kind of like a game, and you have to learn how to work it. Just like corporate America, anything, you just have to learn how to maneuver through it to get the maximum benefit for you. Because unfortunately, everybody's not always going to give you the information up front.
No, they're not going to give you it at all sometimes.
So, you know, if you are blessed enough to get it up front, or you have somebody that you can connect with that's going to mentor you through whatever it is, that's wonderful. But I just pray that this video will help those people who maybe don't have that person in their life yet, or were like me and didn't have parents who went away to college, didn't know anything about student loans or that whole college experience, that this information will help you a little bit, hopefully help you, save you some money, save you some heartache. So that's just my goal with the videos. When I went to college, I knew I was gonna go, but now that I think about it, I think the reason that I went was because I remember, I think I was maybe in middle school, and my mom came to me and she was like, "You're going to college because your daddy's cheap and you're not going to depend on no man. You're going to have your own stuff." And I remember that conversation just stayed with me. So from that conversation, I always knew that I was going to college. My purpose for going, a little shady or shaky. I knew that I love Spanish, and that's about it. And I wanted to do missions trips, and I wanted to get married and have kids. The rest of it, unfortunately, I didn't really have a mentor, because there's so many things other things I could have done with Spanish than what I did. So I was just kind of going to get the degree. And thankfully for God that he kind of put me on a career path. But other than that, I didn't really have anybody to mentor me through the last part of college, just show me all the different careers that I could have taken on. Mine was kind of more of a Holy Ghost or Jesus kind of experience, which is great, because I think everything that I've done plays into where I'm at now. But I just wish I had somebody who maybe could have given me some more career-wise direction. So, and why did I pick High Point? Honestly, because they gave me scholarships. I didn't think about the cost or anything like that. I didn't know. So, but I'm glad I went there. I think I was supposed to go there. It was a really great experience. It was pricier because it was a private college, but I had some great people around me. My first year, I had a great roommate. I had Nikkoa and just a lot of other people that I met. So it was a good experience, although I had to transfer out, but still. So we're gonna go to Nikkoa. So Nikkoa, and I know a lot of people, I have a difficult name too. I know people pronounce your name all kind of crazy ways too. But so why did you originally pick High Point? Did you want to go to college, or what was your whole basis for going to college?
Well, I was similar to you. Like, I didn't have a choice. Probably my freshman year of high school, my mom much laid it out. You have three choices: college, or college. So I chose college out of the three. And, but I knew myself very well. So I chose High Point for the size. I know I was one of those type of students that required smaller classes. I needed to speak to whoever was teaching the class one-on-one, because I needed that extra visual assistance. Me reading a book is not going to cut it for me. So I needed the smaller class. So I visited a couple of schools. Lynchburg, Grambling was one. What else? George Mason. There was quite a few schools, but when I went to High Point's campus, it was absolutely beautiful. It's one of the prettier campuses that I've seen. And they also had newer dorms, which that's just the selfish side of me. Their dorms were absolutely
they were nice,
beautiful. So in the class size. There was 5,000 students at the time when we went. That's max, and that included commuters. So for me, that was very important. Price didn't matter because, my parents always said they will help me until we actually got the bill. Then I realized, oh crap, like this is a lot of money. And so I realized very quickly after my freshman year how much of a financial burden this was on my family. So at that point, and along with some other stuff, I partied a little bit and got into a little bit of academic probation, which kind of X'd my scholarships. I was forced to try to find a way to pay for college. So I took the traditional route, which is getting 18 million jobs. I had 3, Payless, Belk, and Dillard's. To work.
Like, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think we teased her because she was like, typically, and I guess it's a stereotype, and I apologize to all my Jamaican people, but whenever you have a lot of jobs, especially if you're Black, then they're like, oh, you're like a Jamaican, you're working like 20 jobs. And Nikkoa, I think we teased her because she did have a lot of jobs.
But it's the only way that I could think of to go to school and pay for the tuition for the next year. So, but thankfully there was a financial aid advisor at High Point that was on her way out the door. I don't know why, but she decided that day to share every trick of the trade to me to help me pay for school. And one thing that she did was she just tried to find any type of scholarship out there that didn't require some kind of academic need or anything like that. Or you write a letter or a memo about yourself. She just looked out there in North Carolina to see what is out there. So we pretty much pieced together 500 here, 2,500 there, 3,000 there to get it together. Another thing that she pointed out to me, because it was half the cost, was they had an evening degree program. So I was staying on campus, which we all know that your room and board can cost you anywhere up to $8,000 to $16,000, depending on where you go, because it includes the food, and they kind of force you to go to the CAF and get all their food programs and stuff like that. So from there, she told me about evening degree. So I was like, okay, it was 1/3 of the cost, per semester, 1/3 of a semester cost. And then I also started to look at, okay, like now I don't have room and board going to evening degree program. So how much are apartments? Luckily for me, High Point was pretty cheap to live. I found an apartment remember this is 1997, 98.
Yes.
I found an apartment for $495.
Wow.
So $495 a month equals $6,000 a year. You can't get any dorm room on a campus for $6,000 a year.
So can I ask you a question, like for today, we're in 2020. Do you think that's still the same case, where the situation where it's still cheaper to live off campus than it is to live in a dorm?
I do. I mean, there was a lady that worked with one of coworkers. Her son was attending UNC Charlotte, and she was looking for the dorm situations for there. And I told her, I was like, my apartment complex is pretty decent in price. They have 3-bedroom townhouses. Why don't 3 young men or 3 young ladies or co-ed situation rent a townhouse? You're splitting $1,300 a month. $1,500 a month between 3 students. It's $500 a piece. It's $6,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot less for parents to worry about, or even a student if they don't have their parents' assistance.
What about though the college experience? Would you recommend though that if people can, if they're financially able to do a year on campus just to get the dorm room, experience, and then maybe live off campus, or do you think it matters?
For me, it was actually better that I stayed off campus. Because I mean, in the end, like, it's great to get the college experience, and you can still get that living off campus. But I mean, the main mission is for me to graduate, for me to go in and get what I need to get and get on out. You can still attend it, anything. I mean, as you know, I wanted to pledge a sorority, and High Point didn't have any Black sororities, so I had to go to A&T for that. So, I mean, you can still participate. I didn't pledge though. That's a whole nother story about that experience. But I think you still can, but it's all about what you're going to college for. Are you going there just to hang out with people, or are you there to think about your next career? I did both. I mean, you know, I moved off campus after our freshman year that summer.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got in academic probation my sophomore year from partying so much. So I didn't miss out on the on the college experience at all. And I realized quickly, like, this is messing up my future. Let me chill out a little bit. So, but one of the things that, you know, is really neat about going to college now is there are a lot more things out there for, you know, you to be able to go to college than when we went. Like, either your parents paid for it or you got a student loan. Those were the only choices. That means somebody had to save. You know, now they have like the 529 saving plan or the 529 prepay plan. So parents can actually start saving for their children's education right out the womb.
Yeah.
You know, and that's also can go for those students who will not have the assistance from their parents. You can start saving into your own plan. That summer job that you get, instead of buying clothes, you can put half of that money into a savings plan if college is the direction you want to go.
Yeah. And I, you know, I didn't have my parents' help. You know, they couldn't afford to help me with college. I mean, they helped me with probably things on the side that I needed while I was there. But as far as tuition, I think my dad maybe helped me with one student loan, but other than that, I still owe the federal government for my college education. And we're going to do a 3-part video. So we're doing this one, then we're going to talk about savings and debt cancellation. So I'm believing for cancellation on the student loan. I'm in good standing. I've been paying them because I know that I owe it. Mm-hmm. But the whole system is just, unfortunately, I believe things are starting to go in the right direction now as far as change for that system. But when we were coming in, I just believe it set a lot of us up for failure. So,
yeah. I mean, and the thing about it is when you go to get your loan for your tuition, you know, they don't really explain like the type of loans. Like, I mean, most people that get financial aid, you'll see 2 types of loans, which is subsidized loan and an unsubsidized loan. So they always offer you both. And when I started to really pay attention to what things cost when I was paying for it myself and figuring out, I noticed that the 2 types. So, you know, I asked the question, and then that's when I learned that one is accruing interest while I'm in school. So that means not only am I borrowing money, but when I graduate after 4 years, I have 4 years worth of interest on top of the loan itself right when I graduate. So from that point forward, when I realized it, I actually would deny the unsubsidized loans and just take the subsidized. So
yeah, I had no idea.
So I started, because you have a choice of, when you look at your financial aid, you'll see your scholarships, if you have any scholarships, grants, any money that your family can put down, and then they'll give you the balance will be what you're going to take your loan out for. So they'll give you a choice of 2 types of loans, which is the subsidized and the unsubsidized. You can say no to one of those types of loans. You do not have to take both, but that's not something that they tell you up front when you're getting your financial aid. So I didn't learn that until later. So that also helped me when I graduated, that I think I only had one, maybe, because I had 9 little loans altogether, just to let y'all know, because the way High Point worked is it's a loan for every semester. So I had 9 little loans when I graduated. So I only had 2 unsubsidized loans out of the 9. So that helped me a lot, because when I graduated with, you know, exactly what I borrowed plus a little bit of interest. He's asking me about food and I'm on a video.
Well, we're all stuck at home, so I think this will fly.
So from there, I declined those. Another thing that wasn't really offered then that is offered now is We all heard about the work study.
Mm-hmm.
Are you work studying?
At the post office, actually, in Clemson.
Right. But the thing is, those work studies don't pay.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
But there's a lot of companies out here now that will actually do tuition reimbursement, which is something that I think anybody that is young, that is out here getting your first job at 15 and 16, why not look for a company that you're going to work for during the summer or, during your school year? Why not work for a company that is willing to reimburse you for your college tuition when you go? So I actually found a website, and I'm going to pull it up now, that lists the 12 companies offering tuition reimbursement programs. So I found, and I guess you can share the website with them.
On the information you sent me earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 2 companies that actually surprised me when I was doing this research, and it was Procter and Gamble and what's the other one? I wish I could open this up.
I have it, and I'll post it for you guys. I'll post it in the description when I post the video. I'll put all these resources in there. It's under the top 12 companies offering tuition reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to pull it up because there's 2 companies. Procter and Gamble is one, but their program is really good. Like Procter and Gamble, from what I remember reading, they will pay up to 80%.
Oh, that's awesome.
Exactly. So, if you're thinking about it, if you are not in a situation where your parents can help you pay for your tuition, and a lot of the things that I love about the new generation of young people, they are shying away from debt. We took on debt on a whole nother level. Our parents took on the same amount of debt, putting up homes, mortgaging homes for college tuition. The millennials now are not willing to basically tie down their future for anything that's going on. So this is a good alternative. Work for a company, you're going to make your money anyway, but why not have them reimburse up to 80% of your tuition? Another company that I know does it while you're, buying your Starbucks. Starbucks actually has a program for, I think it's Arizona State University. So if you work there up to so many years and you work about 20 hours a week, they will pay 100%.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Tuition. So,
amazing.
I mean, there's a lot of, I'm still trying to pull it up.
And now that you're mentioning it, I have a former coworker who was like gung-ho about her children's college. And I remember she shared with me a list of scholarships. It's an Excel document, so I don't think I can put it, or maybe I don't know how to. If I can figure out, I would be happy to share that in the description. Or if you guys want it, you can reach out to me on Facebook, and I would be happy to email you that Excel document with all the list of the scholarships that she had. And this is something that her and several other moms have been working on for years. So I'm sure a lot of it is still relevant. So if you want that from me, I would be happy to share it. I know it's in my Gmail. So if you send me a Facebook note, I'll email it to you. I'm not trying to charge anything for it. You can go to college for free. More power to you.
Yeah, wish I could.
Yeah, so I have that. You just reminded me of that, and I'll make sure I can find it too when I get off the video.
Okay, so yeah. So some of the companies are AT&T. BP actually has a really good program. They will reimburse up to 90% of your education costs. Of course, each of these companies have their own restrictions and criteria as to what will qualify for reimbursement. So, look into that. I mean, that's part of the negotiation. If you're going to any job, find out what they have. Chipotle, Disney,
Chipotle.
Yeah, right. JetBlue, Procter and Gamble, Smuckers, and Starbucks, and UPS. So a lot of them, it's really good. Like UPS, I'm looking now, offers up to $25,000 or $5,250 a year. So, I mean, anything helps to go towards your education. So,
yeah, I was able to get a Marine Corps scholarship because, my dad was a Marine. And then also I got another scholarship from the Navy because, again, my dad was in the service. So literally, they have scholarships for everything. If you're short, anything that you can find, they have a scholarship for. You just have to be willing to do the research, or, like my friend, she's already done it. So you just kind of look on that document to see what may work for you. And then I'm going to provide all the resources that Nikkoa shared with me on the description as well. So hopefully that will help. Now, can I ask you about night school? I am not a night person. Mm-hmm. Morning bird, so I don't know how night school. I have had to take classes at night for my master's degree, but still I was at home, so it was easier. How was night school for you? What'd you think about it?
I actually liked it a lot. Sorry. The evening degree program, the difference was that I was going to school with adults versus other students that were my same age. So the expectation was different. So the professors that taught the evening degree knew that these are individuals that had full-time jobs during the day, were tired. You worked a full 8 hours and you're going to class from 6:30 to 9:30 at night. So it was a lot more of explanations were done. I noticed that in your regular programs, at least what I experienced, the expectation is we're gonna teach at you, and then you're going to take that information, go home and read and take your notes and study. Yeah. Whereas with the evening degree program, it was almost like, adults are not, as me as a kid, self-conscious. I wouldn't raise my hand because I didn't want to seem stupid. Adults were different. They would clearly raise their hand and say, hey, look, I had a long day. I don't get this. You're going to have to break this down for me. Mm-hmm. So I actually learned a lot and allowed me to feel comfortable with asking questions. So I enjoyed it. 6:30, 9:30 is tough for the first few weeks, but after that you get used to it. And I actually also liked it because I didn't work every day during the day. Yeah. So on my days off, I could get so much done because I'm waking up fresh. From 8 to 6, I'm studying or I'm doing my homework, and it was just a different view instead of waking up and spending all day going to class. Yeah. Going to class, then have to turn around and study. Yeah. So this and work, so this was a lot easier for me. It might not be for everybody. Some people, will always be more of a morning person or midday person, but evening degree was definitely better for me because, after I got off, I went to sleep, and I woke up fresh. I didn't try to study afterwards. I didn't try any of that. I just went to sleep and prepared for the next day or work. So I did like it.
Yeah, we would have to see it. I'm like early in the morning, so I don't know how well I would have done with that. But that's good that you found out about it, and you said it was 1/3 the cost too, right?
Yeah. Now I don't know now how that's going to be because a lot of schools
everybody, yeah,
so a lot of the pricing, so it might be different. It might be all the same tuition price. Mm-hmm. Minus the room and board. But another thing that I did that actually helped me cut costs is North Carolina has where you can take classes at other universities or community colleges. Yeah. And those credits and GPAs will transfer over to your university. So another way I caught, and it was actually by accident. I was taking a class and it was a taxation class and I just wasn't getting it. He was talking about this above the line, below the line, and I had no clue what he was talking about when he was talking about above the line. So, I withdrew from his class to prevent myself from getting a low grade. Yeah. And I looked up and I saw that the taxation class was offered at Jamestown Community College, which is a small little town right beside in between High Point and Greensboro. So I went to the class and we actually used the 1040 forms, which helped me understand what I was seeing because I noticed that sometimes at four-year universities, you're not actually using the programs that they're talking about. You're actually not using everything. It's all text.
It's not hands-on, like exactly. Hands-on. Yeah.
With the community college, not only did we use the manual forms, we actually used the tax preparing programs.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I took that, and I noticed that for that class, it only cost me $199. Well, for the class at High Point University, it was almost $299 a credit. So I started to think, I have all these electives to take. Would I take them at the $299 a credit, or will I take it at $199 a class? So I started to take all of my electives at the community college at a fraction of the price, and still getting everything that I needed.
And
so
still getting your High Point degree at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's another hack that people can use. Like, see whether or not you can take the classes at another school that's a lot cheaper, especially like if your family, like if you go home during the summers and there's a local college there that is much cheaper, or a community college in your home state, take your classes there. And then just have them, transferred over to your four-year university.
And I stumbled upon that by accident, because after I left High Point, I couldn't afford to go back to High Point for the following year. So what I did exactly what Nikkoa said. I went home, I started taking summer classes at the community college, and then not quite a year later, but in the spring of the following year, I got accepted. I transferred into Clemson. And it's just things that I learned along the way. Basically, you're taking the college description class of the schools that you were at and matching it to the one that you want to get into. And they took all of my credits but one. And I was coming from two different schools. I was coming from High Point and Coastal Community College. And because I don't even know how I learned how to do that, but because I figured that out, they took all of my credits except for one, which was almost unheard of during that time. So I was really blessed. And if I could do it all over again, probably like Nikkoa said, I probably would have went to community college and paid so much less and then transferred in and had like fraction of the debt. But that is good. That's something that I learned. And then two, I know it's different, but as far as with classes, and I think this is a part of the college game where they only offer certain classes during certain semesters, knowing that all these people need to get into this class. Exactly. What I learned to do, and then, it depends on when they let you register. They have like registering numbers. You can only register at a certain time. And I know my godchild has went through this where literally they have to be on the computer just to try to fight to get into their classes. And, if you're competing with thousands of other students, there's a good chance that you're not going to get into a class that you need, which is going to prolong your graduation and then add to the debt that you're paying. So what Kamisha did was, when she didn't get into a class that she needed, I went on the first day into the class and spoke with the professor, because somebody's always going to drop out. That's just the nature of the game. If they don't like what the teacher's saying, they don't like how they look, just for some people, they're going to drop out. So I made it a point, even if I didn't get into class, I would go on the first day to the class that I wanted to be into, talk to the professor, and I always got in. It was maybe a week or two later, but I always got in. So, you just have to be willing to be more diligent. And I think professors like that too, because they see that you're serious. So why wouldn't you let me into your class if you have the room? So that's another thing that I learned too. So I didn't have to be in school forever paying more money. I learned how to get into my classes by going to see the professor, and they would usually add me to the roster.
Yeah. And even talking about community school, like, I understand that college is not for everybody, and the thing that I've noticed also, even though, I haven't gone further than my bachelor's degree, I attempted my master's and couldn't juggle the stresses of work and getting my master's. I've been halfway through a program that I really would love to get back to.
But you have your real estate, or?
No, I will. I actually sit for the exam June 15th. So
that's like going to school. You still had to go to some kind of school to get your real estate license.
I did, but and that's what I want to bring up. Like, college will not be for everybody. And I've noticed now, after my attempts of getting my master's, that there are so many certifications that fit me better than even thinking about getting a master's degree or anything like that. Because for me, I was getting a master's so I can move up, but in reality, I want to get a certification so I can like expand my abilities and my skill set. So I found that they're like CPCC is one of the best community colleges here in North Carolina. And they have a abundance of certification programs. So looking at that, I mean, I've seen certifications for HR, I've seen various certifications for IT, real estate, surgical assistants, things like that. So if you want to go to college, you're not sure, you can't afford it, there are plenty of certifications that you can get that will pay well if that's a concern, but don't feel like you have to go to college if you don't want to. There's so many different avenues and so many different ways now that I'm seeing young people make money. A lot of young people are making money without a college degree.
Yeah.
So.
And if I could do it all over again, I think I probably would have went to a technical, or like you said, got a specific skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want anybody to be in the kind of debt that I'm in right now. Now, praise God, I can pay for it. I have, I was able to get into jobs where I could afford to pay for my debt. Mm-hmm. But, to have that lingering over your head and then defer until you can afford to pay it. And it's like half of a house payment. It's just, it's not, I don't think it's necessary, especially like Nikkoa said, there's so many certifications and, I have my master's degree. I have a couple of degrees, but that was because of Jesus, and that's another story. Because I was like, after my bachelor's, like, I'm done. I'm never going back to school. But I never say never, because, and I think for most of you guys, that I'm a Christian. If God tells you to do something, you're going to do it. Yeah. So, I have other ones because he told me to do it, not because I wanted to, and I pray that I don't have to go back anywhere. Jesus. Oh my God. But yeah, college, if I could do it all over again, one of the careers that fascinates me and I think I would have just loved was ultrasound, to be like an ultrasound tech. And I think they make fabulous money and they're always so happy. So I think if I could do it all over again, I would have went to something like that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. I have a degree in international business, and funny, I think I use that more for my missions trips actually. But the management part is in there too. So,
yeah,
and then
community college is also good for, like, I don't know about you, Commissioner, but when I went to school, I knew exactly what I was going to school for. So for me, going in, I knew from high school that I was going to do accounting. Thank you to Prince George High School for offering the accounting class while in high school.
I had no idea.
That set me up. But if you don't know exactly what you're going to go to college for, I think community college is a great introduction to see all the different things
That's
that are
true.
out there.
That's
because
true.
Most of the programs offered at community colleges are associated with an associate's degree.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you've already got your associate's degree when you finish. You can transfer to your four-year university. 2 years is always out the way, and you have more of a direction of where you want to go. A lot of parents will push children to go to college, but it's almost like, why am I going to college just to spend 2-3 years trying to figure out what I'm doing, and then you end up going to school for 6 years because you're still discovering what it is that you want to do.
I always knew it was going to be Spanish. I had to, because I love Spanish. Mm-hmm. So I just picked international business. But again, career-wise, I didn't know what was I going to do with that. I didn't want to teach. Because I'm just like, I will hurt these kids. And it's funny though, I volunteer teach, but it's non-conventional. So I can still, I didn't jack them up, but I had more leeway than you do like in a traditional school. So I just did not want to go into the school system. And I thought about it even after I was doing claims. I took the GACE here, tested in to be a teacher, and I was like, no.
Wasn't feeling it.
No, I don't. like this, if I could do like life skill classes, or even I have volunteered, I volunteered with the kids at church. I did that for a long time. I love that. And then I also did ESL,
Yeah.
and I love that too. So non-traditional would be more for me.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as being in a school, no.
Yeah, no, I definitely would like to teach classes. That's one of the reasons why I'm getting my real estate license, is not necessarily to sell real estate. It's more or less to inform. I was lucky enough to have a first time buyers program that was offered in Baltimore when I bought my first home. And from there, watching those ladies and gentlemen explain the whole process and how it brought so much relief, that's something that I know in the future that I'll do. And look, that is nothing to do with my degree, but that is, I've discovered, is something that I would love to change my career to, and will.
Yeah, Nicole's got a lot of side hustles. She's good at a lot of stuff. Fashion. You're more into it than I think I am, but we both have a love for clothes. So rooms full of clothes.
Yeah. Like I popped a tag for this video. I'm like, oh, I'm not wearing this dress. I've had it for months. Let me just pop a tag, because
That's okay. People collect dolls, and we like clothes and earrings. So, and now I got into the mask thing. So I was like, I need to slow my roll. But I should have one for each day. I mean, that's reasonable. Especially when I have to go back out, that's reasonable. So let me see. I think we kind of hit
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like college is going to be so different. Also with this, COVID-19, college is going to be different. School's going to be taught online. So, I kind of feel for a lot of the students because I've done both online learning and classroom, and there's nothing like classroom.
Nothing.
I mean, so to now have to be online only is going to be its own challenge. And then on top of that, worrying that you have to extend your college life, because now you're having online classes and they fill up quickly, so.
But I think because I did online classes too, I loved it. I mean, but I was older and I was working full time, and I lived in Atlanta. So there was no way I could even see myself trying to run from work, be in traffic for God knows how long to get to school. That just was not an option for me. So I was thankful for online. But I think now that if online is going to include Zoom, I think that if you're able to see, your classmates and your teacher, that might help with the online classes.
Yeah, it'll just be a transition, because can you imagine all the high school students that have been used to classroom now? They're ending their senior year online and then jumping right into college online. So it's a huge transition for them. So, I'm curious to see how that's going to go and how that's going to affect tuition, because now that you're online,
it should be cheaper.
Costs decrease. Yeah, exactly.
It should be cheaper.
Exactly. So we shall see.
Yeah, it should be cheaper too. I mean, from what I've seen, as far as conferences go, like I know a lot of people who were having conferences, they're now doing it online, and the price is so much cheaper because you don't have to worry about venue and then paying all the people that you would normally have to pay to help you. So I would think that college would be the same way. But then I think about where I went to get my master's degree, University of Phoenix, and it was not cheap. So it'll like you said, it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Now, if you could do everything all over again, if you were your 18-year-old self graduating from high school and about to make the college decision, what would you do differently? What would you have wanted to know?
I still would have went to High Point, but I would have went to community college at the same time. I definitely would have, if I had a choice, never lived on campus. It would have just saved me money. And I probably would have took school a little more serious than I did. If I didn't go through all those hardships and being forced to try to figure out stuff, I wouldn't have come to the understanding that how money can be a tool. You know, we always worry about how we're going to pay something, how we're going to do something, but you know, money is a means to an end. And before I was really worried about it, and now I understand how to use it and how to find ways to spend less of it. So, you know, everything happens for a reason.
And to make more of it. So thank you so much. We're going to do 2 more videos. Like I said, she has a wealth of knowledge. So we're going to do another video on saving and then another video on how to eliminate this debt that so many Americans are in. You know, unfortunately, a lot of us live paycheck to paycheck. I can say that I am not at that point right now, but it just kind of recently happened. So, you know, it is something that's a process. It takes time, but man, once you, like you said, like Nikkoa said, once you understand money and that it's a tool, and then like from the Christian aspect, it's a tool to help further the kingdom. So, you know, and I'm a big proponent of, and I don't care if you don't believe in Jesus or not, principle is still the same. When you're giving more of your money away, more of it's going to come back to you, or at least that's what I've experienced. Like when you're giving and helping other people or different causes, whatever your thing is, more of it is going to come back to you. I mean, I think that's how the rich stay rich. You know, they give, like if you think of Oprah and Bill Gates and some other people, they're always giving money away, but then it's constantly in their lap. And a lot of times people will just start giving you stuff for free because of who you are and what you're doing. But I hope this video helps. I did enjoy my college experience, my different colleges that I went to. But like Nikkoa said, all of those experiences help us become the people that we are today. But if we can help you maybe maneuver through it a little bit easier, I hope some of these resources will help you. And just to have options, just to know that there are options, because I didn't know about any of this stuff. So I think I would have made some different decisions if I had have known. So hope that this helps you. And thank you so much, Nikkoa.
You're welcome.
All right. You guys have a great day. And we'll be back at you in another week or so with the second and third part of the videos. Stay safe. Please wear your mask. I can't tell you what to do because I don't know what state you're in, but you know, use some wisdom. All right. We'll see you guys next time.